I'm Katie Heath-Jones. I'm the Deputy Stage Manager for the Welsh National Opera, and I'm here to show you today a bit about the backstage workings of Sweeney Todd, which is our musical that we're taking on tour at the moment. So if you come around here, I'll turn around, and Emily, who's my assistant today, will show you all around the section. Do you want to do a pan of the set, Emily? So as you can see, it's not a traditional Sweeney Todd set. Traditionally, it's set in Victorian times, but this one's set kind of end of the 70s, start of the 80s, the Thatcherite era maybe. And we can see we've got these two massive shipping containers. You can see here we've got our to let sign, and that is, in fact, once Mrs. Lovett drops that, that becomes Sweeney Todd's Barber shop. And we have a lot of different bits of furniture that we'll show you soon that are brought on to create the pie shop, Mrs. Lovett's parlour and things like that. And then over there on the stage left side, we've got the another big shipping container, which makes up the Judge and Joanna house. So as we're going along today, if you've got any questions that you want to ask about the production or any backstage workings that we're doing, then just ask, and Emily will ask me the question and I'll try and answer it as best I can. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and see Sweeney Todd's Barbershop. Now, in order to do this, I've got to take down the kabuki. A kabuki is basically this cloth. It's got some holes in the top of it, and there's a bar along the top with spikes sticking out, and all the holes are fitted onto the bar. And hopefully in a second, when I release this cloth will drop down as if by magic. This is our backup plan if it doesn't. Here we go. Here we go, magic. Pull it down. And then you can see we've got the inside of Sweeney Todd's Barbershop. Now we did a performance last night, so at the moment it's probably got some blood spatters over it. Our crew have kind of changed it over, but it probably needs a good clean before tonight, so come upstairs with me. So it might be a little bit dark in here, but you can see it's still kind of empty. The idea is that Sweeney's only just come back from being in prison in Australia. You can probably hear, can you hear my feet? That's the stickiness of the blood on the floor from last night. We've got the traditional barber's pole over there. Over here we've got the trunk, which is quite important as someone is put in this trunk. It might be a bit dark. Let me shine my torch a little bit and see if we can see it a bit more. You see, it's just a normal trunk that stays up, but you can see there's this false foam here. That's because Pirelli, the character that tries to bribe Sweeney, is subdued and put in here. And unfortunately, because Sweeney does it in a rush, he actually ends up with his hand sticking out like that. So that's just to make sure that our singer's hand doesn't get hurt. And we've also got, which not many people know, but you can see it, it's not locked, we've got a secret door here. We've got this big container lid that you probably saw, and when it shuts, we have to sometimes get our singers out really quickly. So this is a secret doorway, which our singers go through. Let's go downstairs and have a look. So you can see all this very strange furniture on the set. It's kind of 70s furniture. The idea is that we start the show in an asylum. All of the members of our 28 chorus that are in it have got their own individual characters that might be in an asylum. So someone's a pyromaniac, someone's obsessed with hair pulling and things like that. And I'll show you a few props in a minute.
Ainsley Jeremy asked, what's your role in the production?
I'm the deputy stage manager. So during the show, I'm in prompt corner, which I'll show you in a bit. And I call the show, so all the lighting, sound, flying cues, I basically tell an operator when to perform those, and hopefully at the right time each night, and things should happen on time. So if we look in here, this opens up. This is quite a nasty grey room, I would say. Let me show my torch. This is the judge's study. He's not a particularly nice character, the judge, if anyone knows the story of Sweeney Todd.
Are you wearing a Haunted Mansion shirt?
I am, from Disneyland. Yes, I got it in the summer. He's got a whip, which he may or may not use tonight.
How many props do we have in the production?
How many props? I would say we're definitely into the hundreds. We've got lots of fake pies and lots of furniture and things like that. So we're definitely into the hundreds, I think. And then if we look up here, this is quite sweet. This one opens up as well. This is Joanna's bedroom, which again has got that kind of 70s, 80s vibe to it. There's a cross on the wall. There's a picture of the girl, which looks a bit like Joanna actually in the show. We've got a really nasty bedspread, which is really horrible pink. So that opens up as well. Last night we had a bit of a problem with this. Even though it had been checked before the show, for some reason it kept trying to close as our lovely singer Soraya was singing Greenfinch and Linnet Bed, but she dealt with it very well, and we sent on a member of our chorus to just basically stand here and hold it. So there you go, an example of how things can go wrong sometimes on stage.
Where did you get qualified to be a stage manager?
I did a 2-year course at Mountview in London. And before that, I'd done a lot of things with the youth theatre. I'd gone to the Edinburgh Festival and got experience that way. And then about a year after leaving Mountview, I got this job. And I've been here for 11 and a half years now. And it's the first time I've done a musical, which is very exciting. This is my favourite musical, by the way. So here we go. I'm going to take you to the stage left wing now to show you some things. So the trunk that we saw earlier, Pirelli gets killed in there. And what we have is this really strange device here, which goes on the inside of the trunk. It's got these 3 syringes you can see. And Sava, our props ASM, fills them up with fake blood every night. And then Paul, who plays Pirelli, has some tubes inside his costume which he connects to this. So when he finally gets let out of the trunk and Sweeney slits his throat, he pushes down in these plungers and hopefully the blood should flow. Here's an example of some of the blood that we use. It's called pigs might fly blood.
We've been asked what the best part of your job is.
Best part of my job is the people. I love working here. It's a great company, and it's really nice on this show to work with a mix of opera singers and musical theatre singers. So it's definitely the people.
We've got some people quite shocked that you said 11 and a half years you've been here.
11 and a half years, yes. It's because I basically dress like a 12-year-old boy, so that's why. So I told you a bit about the chorus. Have got their own individual characters. So we've got one member of the chorus. She's obsessed with hair pulling. So we've got this really freaky doll it is made out of fake hair. So we've got that, and someone else is obsessed with like violent comic books. In fact, the chorister who plays that role is a comic book geek in real life, so it works out quite well for him.
What's your favourite Sweeney tune?
Oh, okay, I've got 2. I like Pretty Women, and I like the Act 2 Joanna reprise when Sweeney starts killing his customers and they start going down the trap. So those are my favourites. I like them all, really. The ballad is really cool. Got some fake pies. Unfortunately, our chorus are really gutted that they have the fake pies. They don't have the real pies. And they're a bit red on the bottom, if you can see. These are basically, they have fake blood from these very kitsch sauce bottles. They're filled with fake blood, and they pour it on them at the end. What else have we got? We've got a really old copy of The Sun. So who would like to see the Sweeney chair? You, Emily, would like to see it, okay. So unfortunately, because we've already changed over the set, we can't see the chair in situ in the barber shop, but pull it out here, will it come out? It's very heavy. This chair alone weighs about 70 or 80 kilograms, so it's a really lovely red. Still a little bit sticky from last night. It still needs a mop. So basically, it's really simple. There's a hole in the bottom of it with a metal spigot that goes into a hole in the bottom of the barbershop chair and the barbershop the floor. And then when we want to dispatch our customers, our singer David, who plays Sweeney, literally just goes like this, and it flattens out. And then at the same time as he's doing that, there's 3 operators underneath the stage that are opening up the trapdoor. A lot of people are surprised that the chair and the trapdoor aren't connected, that they don't just happen automatically. But if you can imagine, for example, something happens in the barbershop and someone were to accidentally clip that before it's supposed to open, you wouldn't really want a trapdoor to suddenly open in a barbershop. So it's me and the stage crew that have control of that to make sure that it's all safe.
We want to know how you make the fake blood.
Fake blood. Actually, we buy in all of our fake blood. There's really good fake blood suppliers now that you can get all around the world. So we buy it in, mainly because some of our singers have it in their mouths, so it's safe for them to have it in their mouth. And also, most importantly, for our wardrobe department, it's washable. So they can wash it out of all the bibs or the shirts or whatever gets blood stained, and there's a lot of it that goes about. So let me show you around here. Another really cool element of having it in the kind of 70s and 80s is that Pirelli, when he arrives for the marketplace scene, actually arrives in this old Robin Reliant. If you saw the show in Cardiff, you'll notice that it's a different vehicle. We had a big truck in Cardiff, but because we're on tour now, a lot of our touring venues aren't as big as our venue in Cardiff, so we've got this, which I think is a really cool alternative. So it's pretty old, It's got the barbershop pole on top, and I think if I can, it has got a horn on it as well. I'm not sure if it'll work. If it's plugged in, let me see. Yeah, there you go. That's the horn. It sounds pretty old.
So does he actually drive this on?
It's actually a member of our crew that drives this on. It's electric powered, so it's really nice and safe, no petrol fumes, and it comes on stage and goes off stage every night.
What's the worst part of your job? Tricky question.
Oh, the worst part of my job is probably, it can be really long hours sometimes. It can be stressful, but I like stress, so that's good. And yeah, I think probably the long hours, it can be really tiring sometimes, but it's all worth it when you get to work on shows like this. So,
where are we getting the edible pies from that we're using?
Edible pies, they're just supermarket, they've just bought in a supermarket. They look kind of like the chip shop pies that you can get. They're those kind of pies, and we go through probably about 15 or 16 a night. So that times 20, so 28 performances we're doing in total. Yeah, that's quite a lot of pies that we go through. Here's some more props. I love the judge's wig. And we've got Ideal Homes by the Sea. If you know the show at all, you'll know that Mrs. Lovett sings a song about being by the sea in Act 2. More fake pies. Got more blood. Here's one of the ways. We've got lots of different ways that we do the blood. See, look, I've already got blood on my hands. You can't go anywhere on this set. But what we do is, for the customers that are killed at the start of Act 2, we've got 2 chorus gents. And what they do is, just before they go on stage, they take a swig of stage blood. And they also have one of these blood sponges palmed in their pocket. And it's filled with quite thick blood, so it won't drip everywhere. And just as Sweeney's killing them, they let the blood seep out of their mouth, and they draw this across their neck. And then hopefully it'll look pretty gory. It always gets a laugh, that bit. Everyone really likes that bit. Right, and luckily we always have a supply of wet wipes on stage, so we can clean our hands up. Now I'm going to show you one of my favourite props and like kind of design detail. So as it's sort of 70s and 80s, Mrs. Lovett's pie shop is almost like a greasy spoon cafe. So we've got this really horrible like mini oven, which you can see the props department have really made it like you would never want to eat.
Do you have a fave scene?
Do I have a favourite scene? I really like... Oh, that's really hard. I really like Pretty Women because the first time in Act 1, because the judge comes in, and when I watched it for the first time, I thought, oh my goodness, he's going to kill the judge, and the music is so dramatic, and then he launches into this beautiful song that he sings whilst he's shaving the judge. And I also like the second Pretty Women in Act 2 because then it's like, right, now he's going to kill him, and he deserves it. So yeah, so this is pretty nasty. I don't think she'd win any awards for hygiene. Interesting note, our Mrs. Lovett is actually gluten intolerant, vegetarian, milk intolerant, so she's got a lot of allergies. So she doesn't actually eat any pies in the show really anymore. But even like basic things like this flour, instead of just being normal flour, it's actually rice flour. So if for some reason she were to inhale it or anything like that, it would be perfectly safe for her. I thought I saw, where is the grinder? We've got a really nasty meat grinder that I wanted to show you. Here we go. This is the grinder. Again, the detail on it is really cool. If Emily can get in there, you can see that there's a lot of unfortunate people have met their end in there. And again, it's really good detail on everything. So yeah, we've got some cheat sheets here. This is for our chorus because quite often on tour, the side of stage of which they bring things on changes. So it's just as a backup for them when they come off stage, they can quickly see what they're doing in the next bit. And then here's the pie shop tables. They're not covered at the moment. They normally, in Act 1, they have really horrible plasticky kind of lino tablecloths on them. And then when Mrs. Lovett is earning a bit more money in Act 2, she's got some lovely blue gingham tablecloths. And then over here, this is the beggar woman's trolley, which is really sad and pretty nasty. There's a really creepy little doll in here, which freaks me out. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. She's a proper bag lady in this show. And then over here is where I sit during the show. It's called Prompt Corner. And I have a copy of the score with all the music in it. And so what I do is I stand people by via these lights, which aren't working at the moment because the electrics team aren't in. But I would stand people by and say stand by, for example, fly Q1, and the operator would say standing by. And then when I follow in the score and I see the cue coming up, I say fly Q1, go, hopefully on the exact note, and that action should be performed. So I've got the same thing with all the lighting and things like that. I've got something in here. In the start of each act, I've got sound ready in a big post-it note because we're an opera company and we're not used to having people with mics on and having a proper sound department. I kept forgetting when we were first in Cardiff to make sure that all the sound guys were happy with the mics, so that's like a big reminder for me now. So I think I've shown you everything I can for Sweeney. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to come see us, we're still on tour for several more weeks, and if you want to see where we're touring, you can go to www.wno.org.uk/Sweeney. Thanks a lot.